Most every foreclosure seller has the same reflex. I've got it handled. But here's the secret. That objection is actually one of your biggest openings if you know how to handle it. This will be the first of a series of real-life objection flow videos where we learn to pivot conversations and turn dead-end leads into signed contracts. So let's kick it off with the number one objection you're going to hear. I have it taken care of, and go through the blueprint that will help you get more contracts. So as I stated before, we're going to go through a series of these objection flows. We'll start with I have it taken care of, but we'll do some of the other core objections that you hear all the time. Hey, I need to think about it. I need to talk with my spouse. I need to talk to an attorney. All these things that kind of get you to get off the front porch or hang off the phone. We're going to go over the flows on how to turn these objections into contracts instead of dead leads. So let's start off with I've got it taken care of. And we're going to go through this flow. And it's going to go through all the scenarios in terms of, hey, did it go right? Let's go this way. Did they kind of turn you away? Let's try to pivot that and get the conversation back on track. So let's start off with the core objection. I've got it taken care of. There are a couple of different handlers that you can use. And of course, you can use ChatGPT and anything else that you want to kind of paraphrase these and make them more your personality. But these are a couple I've used to close hundreds and hundreds of these deals, so they're a good place to start. So objection handler number one, you go to the door, you say your spiel, hey, my name is Michael. I noticed that your lender was giving you a little bit of a hard time with your house on 123 Main Street. I just wanted to drop by and see if there's anything I can do to lend a hand. They're, of course, going to want to say something to the effect of, I've got it taken care of. This is their natural reflex, okay? Instead of just saying, oh, well, I'm glad you have it taken care of, and you go ahead and hit the street, you're going to lean into the resistance. If you do not push into the resistance and pierce through that initial veil of resistance, you're going to miss out on a lot of deals. So as a salesperson, make sure you have that reflex of pushing through when it's difficult. Otherwise, it's going to be hit and miss on when you get some deals. So what are some objection handlers once they say, hey, it's taken care of? So number one, you can say something to the effect of, oh, totally, and I wouldn't expect anything less. Just so I don't misunderstand, when you say you have got it taken care of, what do you mean exactly? Or another objection handler, you can say something like this. Yeah, that's totally fair. And honestly, most people I work with are working on something already. Just so I don't waste your time, what does taken care of look like for you right now? Okay, so use one of those two. Why do those things work? They lower the resistance by agreeing with the seller. You kind of want to come towards them, acknowledge what they've said. Don't just immediately dismiss them, but agree with them in a non-threatening, peer-to-peer tone. You're not going to fight them. You just want to clarify what taken care of means. Now, this is where you come to your first crossroads. Your seller's going to either open up or they're going to shut you down. Okay, we're going to go first down the shut you down path. So they say something like, didn't you hear me? We've already got it taken care of. We've got it handled. And they're kind of terse with you. Now, this is usually when the average salesperson is going to skedaddle. They're going to get out of there. They're not going to continue this conversation. But a good salesperson, again, is going to lean into that situation, not away. So when they say, hey, we've already got it handled, man, come on, you're going to enter what I call a third-party story. And you need to have an entire bank of these. And as you close deals, really document what you've done for other people, whether good or bad, positive outcome, negative outcome. That way you just have a whole library of different third-party stories that you can interject into any situation. So back to our situation here, they say, I've got it taken care of, man, come on. You can say something like, hey, I totally get it, but I just talked to a guy last month. He told me that he had it taken care of, but then at the last second, the lender dropped the ball. They didn't get paperwork over, and they weren't able to get his loan mod approved like he thought, and they ended up having their house get foreclosed on. Absolutely heartbreaking to me, And I don't want that to happen to you. And that's why I'm here, just making sure things are okay. So you could have a wide range of different third-party stories that you enter depending on what they say, your experience level, what you're comfortable with. In this particular example, it said, totally get it. I actually just talked to a guy last month, and he said exactly the same thing. His bank approved the loan mod, but 2 days before the sale, they denied it. We jumped in at the last second, stopped the auction, but it was so close. It made me uncomfortable, and that's why I'm here to talk to you about these things. Now, there's two different paths that they can go. They may soften some, and then they want to open up to you, okay? And we'll go that path in a second, okay? But I want to go down the path of a little bit more negative, and then we'll work towards a positive outcome. So if you go through your third-party story, they go ahead and shut you down again. They say, look, man, I already told you, we're good. Now it's time to exit with poise, but we're not going to leave empty-handed. We are like farmers as niche real estate investors. We try to plant seeds, right? So every time you talk to a seller, you have an interaction. It may not always go the way you want, but you are going to try to, open up the ground and plant a seed until that opportunity to where hopefully someday it will sprout and it will grow and you can harvest those crops. So every time you have an opportunity, you have to plant. So when they're terse with you again and they say something like, dude, I already told you, we're good, buzz off, whatever they might say, we're going to take our last opportunity, okay, to say something like, yeah, no worries at all. I respect that. And hey, if things later don't turn out the way that you want, feel free to reach back out. I've helped over X families stop sales, and even when they thought it was too late. So I'm just here if the situation ever changes. Okay, now this part is what's critical. This is the win if they're shutting you down. Then take a short pause, and if you feel it's appropriate, add this nice little line. Hey, while I'm here, do you mind if I just shoot you a quick text so you've got my name in case things shift? I promise you, I'm not going to blow you up and keep bugging you. I just want you to know that it's me if you need anything, okay? Probably 50-50, maybe 60-40, they will want you to shoot them a text. This gets the opportunity for you to, one, get their correct phone number, but it also gets the opportunity for them to save your contact in your phone. So in the future, when you call, when you text, it comes through as Michael Investor Guy, X Investor Gal. So if they say yes, shoot me a text, you want to send a message to their phone number and have them program your name. This is critical. Say, your name, investor guy or gal. This will get them to kind of laugh a little bit, right? Because it's just kind of a funny name. And then joke about how, hey, you probably get 1,000 spam calls a day anyway. I just want you to know that it's me. And people will be like, ha, 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 yeah, I get a ton of spam calls every day. So now your name is locked in. In the future, this raises the chance that you're going to get a deal from this person. But you're not going to stop there. After they've gone ahead and programmed, you've texted over your number or your information, they've gone ahead and programmed your name in, you're going to establish a micro commitment, okay? So you're going to establish a time to speak in the future. This is not going to be vague. You're not going to say, hey, let's connect next week sometime. That is vague, no good. You need to say, hey, would it be cool if I called you next Tuesday at 10? Yeah, that'll work. Would you mind going ahead and programming that into your phone, onto your calendar? That way I can give you a call. Hopefully all is well, but I'll reach out then. That sets that micro commitment, and then you can speak to them down the line and hopefully get a deal from that situation. Now, what if you go through your last minute spiel and they say, no, do not text me, I'm good. I told you. And they're just completely shutting you down. In that situation, go ahead and offer them a business card. Try to get them to take that, and then we're going to reach out in other mediums. Just because they've shut you down here doesn't mean that it's not going to work elsewhere. So we've gone down the more negative side of the branch of this little document here, okay? If they do not want to talk to you, you need to enter your third-party story. If they shut you down again, you need to go ahead and exit with poise, but plant some seeds. Now, what if you start from the beginning and you use your handlers that we've gone over before? The seller responds in an affirmative, okay? They start opening up to you. Well, I'm actually doing a loan mod, or, well, I'm thinking about doing bankruptcy. Well, I do have a friend that is thinking about listing my house. If they start opening up to you, that's a really good sign, and you need to lean in and ask a few follow-up penetrating questions. Now, if we go ahead on our flow chart, you can see all of these different common outcomes of what they might mention. Perhaps they say something about doing a loan modification, or maybe they say they're going to reinstate the loan, they're going to list with a realtor, I'm going to file bankruptcy. Well, I already got the sale postponed or canceled. Well, I already went with another investor offer, or maybe I'm talking with an attorney. Okay? No matter what they bring up, you need to ask some follow-up questions. Your goal is to, one, make sure that they understand the path they're going. Remember, a confused mind says no. Give them clarity. But if you can ask some of these penetrating questions, oftentimes you can cast doubt on the path that they're going. You're not trying to manipulate, right? But you're just trying to get them to think through and be like, oh, there's a little bit of a chink in my armor in my plan here. Maybe I should listen to Michael or yourself and listen to the options they have. So let's go through some of these penetrating questions you might ask. So let's say you go through your initial handler, they open up to you, and they say, well, I'm actually going through a loan modification right now. Okay, so some questions that you can ask that are key. Hey, did the lender confirm in writing that your sale date is paused and the loan mod is approved? They may say yes, they have that information, and that's great, but most of the time they're going to say something like, well, actually, I just started the process. Okay, so that can cast some doubt. Some other questions. Hey, are you aware that the loan mod could raise your payment significantly? Most people don't know that it's going to raise their rate. So maybe they refied in the past. It's a 3% loan. They're going to do a loan modification. Well, it's going to raise their rate to the prevailing rate, 6-7%. Cast some doubt that maybe they can't afford that payment. Or, hey, do you have full-time work right now? If they're actually out of work, they don't have consistent employment, you can tell them that loan modification 9 times out of 10 is going to get denied. And then lastly, hey, what's your plan if that loan mod gets denied or doesn't get finalized before the auction? What's your backup plan? And that can get some conversation going for them to want to speak to you. Now, we can go through all these different situations and the questions, but what do I want you to understand? Once you go through and you speak to them, they respond and kind of tell you a little bit about what's going on, you're going to go down the path that they mention, okay? Whether it be reinstating, listing with a realtor, I'm filing bankruptcy, you're going to go ahead and ask a few follow-up questions. You're going to then identify the risk and slide into value-driven close. That leads you into the 5 options framework of which we've gone over on this channel at length. Okay? So once you identify their risk, you can say something to the effect of, hey, what you said makes sense completely. I just want to be a second set of eyes on your situation in case things shift. Okay? I've got a few options, and while I'm here, I'd be happy to go over those with you. Then you want to go ahead and slide into going over all their options from reinstating to loan modification to bankruptcy to cash sale to selling subject to. And that's how you open up that second framework of which we have covered many times on this channel. In the link below, I will actually go ahead and put a link to a compilation of the 5 option framework to where you can listen to this all the way through 5 or 6 times. Now, let's get back to our framework here. And I really want to go through these penetrating questions with you because this is the difference between you getting a deal and not. Okay, so if someone says, yeah, well, thanks for coming by, but I'm going to reinstate the loan. Oftentimes, the investor is going to walk away at that point. You are not that investor. You're going to lean in. Okay, so some questions you can ask. Did you receive an official reinstatement or payoff letter from the lender? Oh, well, I haven't ordered that. Well, then you can offer to go ahead and assist them with that. Get a third-party authorization signed, something like that to kind of weasel your way in. Get your foot in the door, so to speak. Okay? Another question you can ask is, do you already have the funds? Have you spoken to a family member or friends? Are they ready to give you those funds now? Maybe they then say, well, I don't have those yet. Well, okay, when are you going to have that conversation? Saturday afternoon. What time? 2 o'clock? Okay, well, let me give you a call at 3 and see how that conversation went. Set that micro commitment. Okay, when and how will you be delivering the payment to the lender? Sometimes they get confused and say, hey, well, I'm going to send it in the mail or I'm going to do this, and you can educate them on the process. And lastly, would it help if I assisted you in making contact with your lender and ordering that reinstatement? Again, you're trying to build authority, credibility, trust, lean into the situation. Now, what about with realtors? Realtors are my favorite. They kill more deals than they help, I promise. Okay, but someone says, yeah, my cousin's a realtor. I'm going to go ahead and list with them. So some questions you can ask in that situation. Has the home been listed? And if so, how long has it been on the market? Did you receive any solid offers? Are you still waiting? Has your agent communicated with the bank? What are they going to do to get a sale extension? Oftentimes, they can start to cast some doubt in their mind to where maybe they need to consider your offer or your solution. And lastly, what's your plan if a contract or closing doesn't happen before the auction? Again, our goal is not to manipulate, but it's to cast shade on what they're doing. That way they were open to moving over here and listening to the 5-option framework. Bankruptcy. And before I go over bankruptcy, if you would like a copy of this framework, in the comments below, type, I've got it handled, and my team will send you a copy of this framework for yourself to study and your team. Okay, so if you have someone that says, well, I'm just going to file bankruptcy, a couple of prodding questions you can ask them to push through is, well, have you found an attorney yet? Have you researched that? It's sometimes hard to find one on such short notice. Many times people will say, well, I haven't actually found one yet, yada, yada. And that can lead you to a follow-up question of, hey, do you have the $2,000 to $4,000 you need to upfront to even retain an attorney? And most people will say, well, no, I don't have that money, Michael. What do I do next? And oftentimes that can lead you right over here to our 5-option framework to where we're guiding them through to hopefully have them drop out the bottom of the funnel with a cash offer or a subject to purchase. Okay, let's continue on with bankruptcy. Hey, are you aware of how your payment can change after you file bankruptcy? I know your payment's probably what right now, $1,200? Well, oftentimes with bankruptcy, it can go up 30, 40, 50% when you reconsolidate your debt. Can you afford that kind of payment? Well, no, and it helps them cast doubt. Okay, what about if you go to their door, they're open to speaking to you, but they say, well, I've already got it postponed. Okay, a couple questions you can ask in that case. Did you receive written notice from the lender that the sale was postponed or canceled? They will often say, well, I'm in the process of getting that. I haven't gotten confirmation yet. And that can open the door for you to continue the conversation. Another question, did they tell you if the sale will be rescheduled or is it fully resolved? Is your mortgage now current or do you still have an outstanding balance? Or what is your plan for staying out of foreclosure moving forward? Have kind of some of these open-ended questions to where you can find an in. And of course, you're trying to get them over here to this 5 options framework. Okay, I know this is kind of a mouthful, but guys, this is critical. This is the difference between you guys getting a deal every now and then and 5+ deals a month. So this is a framework that, I'm not kidding, can make you $100,000 a month. Let's go through these last couple. Okay, what about an investor offer? Hey, do you have that investor's offer in writing or is it just verbal? Are they paying cash or using financing? Trying to scorch the earth of sorts. Hey, is that person credible? Do they have the money? Do they have proof of funds? Are they willing to put down big earnest deposits? What's your backup plan if that investor doesn't close before the auction? Again, you're not trying to snake someone else's deal. I'm a very integritous person. I'm not going to do that, but sometimes they haven't signed a contract. They're just thinking about it. So you're trying to fish some information out of them. And lastly, a lot of times people will say, well, I'm working with an attorney. Let me look over the paperwork, etc. So someone can say, questions you can ask, is your attorney a specialist in foreclosure or bankruptcy? What exact steps are they taking to address the foreclosure? Have they done anything for you yet? Have they communicated with the lender or the trustee? Are they going to stop the sale? Because if not, I can help you do that. And are you receiving regular updates? Because I know some of these attorneys like to hang out on the golf course, not particularly helpful, and they take longer than you'd like. So again, these are some of the core things that people are going to address. Your goal when they're open to speaking to you and they choose one of these directions to go down, you're going to ask some follow-up penetrating questions. You're going to identify the risk and slide into a value-driven close, and you're going to try to get to the 5 options framework. Again, if you want to learn more about the 5 options framework, look in the link below. There's a compilation of those that you can watch. And again, if you would like a copy of this framework, type in, I've got it taken care of down in the comments. My team will send you a copy. So again, this is the first video in a series of all the different objections that you are going to see. Whether you're on the phone, you're knocking at the door, you're texting, you're emailing, people will say these common things. So in the coming weeks, we will drop a few more videos with different objection flows for some of the common objections. These are the things that you need to study. Print out this document, put it on the wall, share it with your team members. This can be the difference between you having a scalable business or not. And if you would like help scaling your business, we can help you with that. Join the niche community. I'll put a link down in the description to where we work on these things weekly. We give you all of your data, all of the coaching, all of the scripts, all of the templates, all of the ways to scale your business to be more sustainable. We've also just released Niche CRM. So if you want to take this data all the way through and automate it to your marketing so you can have more of these conversations, more practice, more deals, we would love to help you with that. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next one.